Bill, thanks. This Wednesday, a revamped American Idol returns now in its 10th season. The Juggernaut continues to be the biggest show on TV, and with Jennifer Lopez and Steven Tyler on board as judges, some see a kinder, gentler Idol emerging. But will the new faces and formula work? We'll talk to winner Ruben Studdard live in a moment, but first, more on the new American Idol.
It's a showcase for aspiring superstars and the highest-rated show in television. For 9 seasons, performers on American Idol have hit high notes and low. Facing the show's judges and their instant feedback.
Tamika, go to an audition where they lie to you.
All of it providing drama that has entertained millions. Capturing worldwide attention for even some of the bad auditions.
Call yourself a cool cat looking like a fool, walking downtown with your pants on the ground.
Some performers even became superstars after being voted off without missing a beat. But its viewership is on the decline, and as American Idol begins its 10th season, there are questions about whether the show's influence is waning. 2 early idols, Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood, won Grammys for the albums they released after they'd won. But record sales from recent winners haven't been as strong, and superstar status seems to fade when the season ends. No free ride, even for an American Idol.
You know, there's peaks and valleys. It's just really, about touring and about being with the fans and working to really build your own fan base.
This season, there are changes producers hope will inject new life into the show. Of the 3 original judges, only Randy Jackson will return. With the departure of Simon Cowell, gone too are the harsh critiques.
Because as bad as I've ever heard in my life.
New judges, singer Jennifer Lopez and rock star Steven Tyler, along with Randy Jackson, say this season will have a different vibe, though they did say they would be honest with performers. For all the hype, the show is still about transformation of an unknown into a star. And for Taylor Hicks, it's a gift that keeps on giving.
It's like it all starts over for you again every season that it comes on. So it's it works wonders, and I'm very thankful for it.
And Season 2 winner Ruben Studdard joins us now. Ruben, good morning. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
How have you been?
Excellent, sir.
Was it a little trip down memory lane, a little nostalgia to watch
It's always great to watch the show. When I'm touring, I don't get a chance to watch it as much, but it's always great to see how well it's still doing.
Yeah. I have to ask you, you were performing in front of your church. You have an amazing voice. Right. But how do you go from that to literally overnight singing in front of 20 million people? The pressure has to be almost surreal.
Well, for me, it was like going to Disney World. I'd always prayed about getting the opportunity to sing in front of, thousands of people.
20 million people?
Right. But when you're on the show, you only get a chance to sing in front of maybe 1,000 every night. So, I was kind of used to doing that, but you never get used to not being able to, go to the grocery store or go to the mall without being recognized. So that was the thing that was, took me the most time to get used to.
But then you're performing in front of all these people and you're getting this instant feedback from the judges. Let me show you a little bit of a Simon Cowell reel, if you will, and then we'll continue. Here we go.
And the mountain high and high.
You want to be a recording artist?
Yeah.
That's why you need a miracle. What sort of Columbus, Ohio stage, not Broadway?
I don't know the difference.
Well, one's good and one's not very good.
God on my side, that's all I can ask for.
Well, he's taken the day off, sweetheart.
Ruben, he was harsh, but it brought an edge to the show.
Right.
And a lot of people tune in for that. You take him out of the equation, what happens?
Well, the one thing I say that's, the most constant thing I've learned in my life is that everything changes. And so I think people, I think it's a welcome, change. Simon, is just as big as any other star in the world. And I think, it was time for him to move on. And I think the show will evolve into whatever it will. J-Lo is huge, Steven Tyler,
But they're not going to be mean.
They're not going to be as mean, no.
I honestly think J-Lo, she's from New York. I don't think she's going to have a problem with being, honest. I think she'll, you know, maybe have a little bit more compassion, but
Right.
I think I don't think she'll have any problem with being honest.
She'll give it to him straight, you think?
Ruben, what was it like backstage if you got just completely skewered by Simon? I mean, what would you all be talking about that night?
Well, you know, I have to say, like, backstage was always fun. You know, I think, you know, everybody left all their emotions on the stage. Like, Simon gave you whatever he had to say, and when you came backstage, it was like,
Were you always prepared for the worst with him?
You had to be, and that's probably why I always had a weird look on my face, because I was always, like, waiting on him to tell me something bad. But, you know, thankfully, he always had a good comment
He
for
liked
me.
you.
Why do you think some of the more recent winners or contestants have not done as well as yourself and some of the others from the earlier seasons?
I guess that's kind of relative. I mean, you can kind of look at the way the music industry is as a whole. Like, people just aren't selling records the way that they used to, and so even, you know, when I was on the show, record sales were still kind of on the decline. So, you know, I don't think that they're, you know, any less huge than we are. I just think it's just the climate in which, you know, they were brought into the music
not a reflection
industry.
on the show and its success, you don't think?
What's the transition like, though, to go from American Idol, where you are a household name, everybody's waiting for your next song, to then try and make it, you know, out there on your own without American Idol?
Well, you know, it's work, and I think, you know, I think American Idol gives you the opportunity to do what you really want to do. Like, everybody that comes on the show has a dream to be a performer, and they put you at the biggest level, and then after that, you know, it's up to you. Like, you have to, you know, and I you know, I look at all the people that I want to, you know, my career to be kind of like, you know, the Aretha Franklins, the Luther Vandrosses. Like, none of those people had huge records their whole career.
It's a springboard.
But it's, you know, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And so the people that are able to, you know, stay in the game, the 26.2 miles, are the people that last.
Was your success a surprise to you after the show? I mean, what were your expectations versus what came?
You know, when I auditioned for the show, my only expectation was to get an opportunity to sing for somebody so they could hear me and possibly give me a record deal. And so when I talk to people, everything that has happened to me after is really the overflow. It's just extra. Like, you know, me being able to sit here and talk to you guys is nothing that I would have ever expected to be doing 8 years after I was on the show. So all of this stuff for me is just, you know, I'm about to record my 5th album. Wow. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so.
You still friends with anybody? I'm sorry, you still friends with anybody on the show?
I am. I'm friends with just about everybody that was on my season. You know, Clay and I actually did a tour together this summer, and you know, so we're still keeping.
I was just going to mention that you can credit Amy because she voted for you. Like,
I voted.
a lot.
I was calling.
Thank you so much.
I was on maternity leave. I didn't have much else to do. Sorry. Thanks for calling me out on that.
Ruben Studdard, it's great to have you here. We're really thrilled for your continued success.
Thank you so much.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk about life after 40, how women can make the most of it. But first, these messages.